Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and yeah, I guess thankfully my voice is actually doing a whole lot better right about now. Yeah, oddly enough, I've been drinking a lot of tea and honey very recently, and I've even downed some cough medicine as well, just to help get my voice back to normal. So yeah, probably by the time I'm recording this, it's already getting there right now, but slowly and steady for sure. But it's really helping me out a whole lot, and I'm really glad for that. But I guess aside from that, I hope all of you guys have had a very Merry Christmas this year. Yeah, it's actually quite a whole lot for sure, but yeah, I have to say I had a really nice Christmas this year, and well, I guess pretty much with what I've got right beside me off screen right now, it looks like I've got a good bunch of Christmas presents right about now, but not to worry, I am going to be saving that for the final episode to Season 7 of What the Pickup that I'm going to be releasing by the end of this year, right before I'll get right on to doing Season 8 next year for sure. So yeah, don't worry, that will be on its way very soon, so you just gotta have to be patient, but I guess until then, I think I might as well go ahead and dive right into, of course, this latest movie I got to watch, so yeah, and of course, since after we've gone through a bit of an interesting spectacle with, of course, my last thoughts video that I did on Avatar: The Way of Water, I think it makes sense that I should pretty much do what I did with, of course, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio and jump back into streaming services for sure, just to help ease myself down for sure. And I gotta say, out of all the Christmas presents that I actually got, aside from the ones that I got literally right beside me, there's that cough, so yeah, aside from, of course, all the other ones I got physically, this movie I'm going to be talking about, I'm not going to lie, is without a doubt the best Christmas present that I've actually got for sure. I dare even say it's pretty much everyone's Christmas present they got. That's literally the best one for sure, So yeah, and not to worry, I promise I am going to wrap up my movie-going experience for this year with, of course, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So yeah, I'll let you guys know once I actually do see that film, just to get myself fully immersed on, of course, what I thought about it for sure. But yeah, that's just pretty much what I can say right about now. So yeah, I guess until then, I think it's about time that we dive back into streaming services and dive right into, of course, this latest movie that had just hit Netflix right about now. So yeah, I guess you can pretty much get the clear picture on that. So in case you're quite curious on what this movie is, what today's movie I'm going to be talking about here today, boy, oh boy, I've been hyped for this movie for quite a long time now, ever since it was first announced for sure, and, well, looks like it finally made its way here in the States via Netflix, all the way across the pond by our good old buddies in good old Britain, so yeah, and I guess in today's movie I'm going to be talking about, I've got a simple question that I want to ask you. What would happen if you actually take one of the most recognizable stories from British author Roald Dahl and also make it as a musical, which turned out to be very successful for the past decade, and make it into a full-length feature film that carries out the same name as the musical? I think you can pretty much see where I'm going at with this one, But in case you're actually quite curious or at the slightest massively confused right about now, for today's movie I'm going to be talking about, we're diving back into Netflix for sure, as we talk about the latest movie that just hit that streaming service, which is, of course, none other than Matilda the Musical, or I guess in this case, Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical. So again, bear with me on my voice, but now it's getting better, but yeah, I guess nevertheless, pretty much Matilda the Musical, or I guess, if anything, Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical, or, well, Netflix's adaptation of Matilda the Musical, or, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna call it Matilda the Musical, for the remainder of this video, so yeah, nevertheless, Matilda the Musical is, of course, the latest movie that had just hit Netflix very recently, and, well, believe it or not, it is, of course, not only based on, of course, it's not only based on the book by the same name by well-known author Roald Dahl, who you may remember who has pretty much crafted other great stories like, of course, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, the BFG, The Witches, and that's just to name a few right about now. But believe it or not, this also is, of course, based on the recognizable stage musical of the same name. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on that. Alright, so, yeah, I guess you can pretty much see where I'm going at with, of course, what I'm talking about. So yeah, I guess to fully understand the movie I'm going to be talking about, I think it makes sense that I should go ahead and talk about the, well, source materials behind this movie. So yeah, I guess if anything, Matilda actually is, of course, based on, of course, by the book by the same name by Roald Dahl, and I guess if anything, I do find it quite interesting, of course, the story of course, a little girl with, of course, telekinetic powers actually doing stuff that is incredibly naughty to correct her world is actually a really fascinating story for sure, and again, this is really coming from the same guy who has crafted Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and that's just to name me a few right about now. So sadly, I never actually read the original book that it's actually based on, but based on, of course, what I'm actually seeing, it actually does seem quite interesting for sure. So, excuse me for a second, so. And let's not forget to mention, this is not the first time that pretty much the Roald Dahl book has been adapting into a feature film before, as of course, it was, of course, done back in 1996 that we all know and love with that said film directed by Danny DeVito, and also stars former child star actress Mara Wilson in the title role. So yeah, it's actually been a while since I've actually seen that said film, but from what I can gather for sure based on fond memory, I actually did find myself really enjoying that said film. Yeah, as a movie on its own, I say it did the job fine for sure, but when I really look back on, of course, that said film in comparison to the original book, for while I do like the Mara Wilson movie just fine, I was actually more looking for an actual faithful adaptation of the book by the same name, which is probably, I think, something that Roald Dahl himself could have actually looked at for sure, and find himself really fully engaged for sure. I know that's saying a whole lot because it's coming from the same guy who can't stand the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie, so. But that's what I can gather right about now. So, given to, of course, what I said, since I actually did mention the stage musical by the same name, I think that is more of the faithful adaptation I pretty much was thinking at the top of my head, so yeah, and I guess in regards to, of course, the musical by the same name, well, what can I say about it that a lot of people haven't for sure, right? It's actually a really well-known musical that's been around since the 2010 decade for sure, and not to mention ignite a really interesting generation of course, pretty much musicals that are made specifically for kids, as opposed to, of course, older kids to even adults for sure. Now, I actually did remember that I actually did get to see the Broadway version of the musical that this movie is based on, and yeah, but not the West End production, the Broadway production for sure, but needless to say, I actually did see that said musical on Broadway back in 2013 when it was around, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, of course, a really incredible musical with, of course, a very engaging story, interesting characters, really amazing and memorable songs for sure, and yeah, it actually does follow closely to the original book by the same name for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, like I said, I do like the Mara Wilson film just fine, but I think the stage musical is actually much more faithful to the original book for sure. And yeah, if Roald Dahl himself is still around today, he would have loved it for sure. So yeah, that's actually my fond memory of seeing Matilda the musical for sure, and it wouldn't be until last year when I actually got to revisit it by seeing Syracuse's stage's production of that said musical, and I think they did a fantastic job doing exactly that. It is just absolutely incredible for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, the stage musical on its own, I really enjoyed it for sure, and again, it's actually more towards what I think of for a much more faithful adaptation of the Roald Dahl book by the same name. So yeah, and of course, if anything, currently as of right now, for while all the other productions, including the Broadway production, has of course closed down several years ago, the West End production is still going on as we speak for sure, which, yeah, I guess if anything, yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can gather right about now. So yeah, I guess needless to say, if you haven't seen the musical just yet, then by all means, I suggest you do so. Like I said, the West End production is currently running as we speak, and hopefully, I think if you look hard enough on Google and YouTube, you might be able to find some videos of course, that said musical for sure. Or, hey, if there's a production that's playing right about now, I say it's definitely well worth checking out for sure. So yeah, I guess it's what I can gather right about now. So yeah, I guess with all that said and done, since I actually really do love the stage musical for sure, when I actually heard the news that they're going to be making that into a feature film for sure, I actually did express a bit of a curiosity and wonder how they're going to pull this off for sure. But thankfully, they actually made the smart move by bringing in the people who crafted the musical to actually work on the film for sure. I'm not even joking, the guy who actually composed all the songs actually came in to help out with the songs for the movie. They brought in the book writer of the musical to work on the movie's screenplay, and not to mention they brought in the director of the musical himself to direct this movie. So yeah. I know for sure that a lot of great movie musicals or movies adapted from Broadway musicals are actually good by bringing in some really talented filmmakers, but I think it's actually quite nice to actually bring in the people who crafted the original musical to actually work on the movie for sure. So yeah, and of course, as the old saying goes, if you want something done right, you ought to do it yourself. And I think the people making this film actually did exactly that. So yeah, I was actually quite curious to see on how this will actually turn out. And, well, judging by the trailers I've actually seen, it does look like it's actually going to be a really interesting and really engaging movie for sure. So of course, as my little Christmas treat for myself, I of course fired up on Netflix, and I actually got to watch the movie for myself. And well, I just literally got back from of course watching it tonight. And well, I guess that does beg the number one question. Now that I finished watching it, what do I think of this movie for sure? Did it actually live itself to the hype the original musical actually had? Or did it slimmer down a bit and be one of the absolute bummers that we got? Well, to answer that question, as someone who actually really loves the musical, yeah, fuck it, what am I going out right about now? This movie is just absolutely stupendous. So yeah, I guess with everything I've actually seen for sure, I think everything that I said that of how much I really love the original musical, I'm saying the same thing with, of course, this movie for sure. Yeah. everything that I've actually said right about now, this movie is just absolutely incredible. Yeah, it is, of course, really well done. It really did a fine job recapturing the magic the original stage musical had, and all in all, it actually does make it a really, really fun movie for sure. So yeah, needless to say, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on that. Okay. Alright, so now that I've got the short version out of the way, I guess I might as well go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about. For starters is, of course, the story, and yeah, I think with, of course, what I've actually seen for sure, I know for sure that seeing how it is a movie, they did make some massive changes from the stage show, and I do think they are absolutely welcome, as, of course, the story in this movie, I find myself to be really fully engaged with, of course, what's going on. It's far different from, of course, what I've actually seen in the musical, but I think it lands in all the bullet points and actually flows out quite well. Not only pretty much trying its best to be like the actual musical it's based on, but also carry out the same style as, of course, a regular old movie for sure. And I think we've actually seen all that in other great movie musicals that we've actually got for sure. Like, of course, pretty much two examples I can give is, of course, two movies based on Broadway shows that I did talk about last year, which are, of course, In the Heights and Steven Spielberg's take on West Side Story. So yeah, both of them actually does carry out the same style and even storyline as the musicals they're based on, but also work well with some really welcome changes to make them stand out on their own as movies for sure. And I think this movie really does do a great job in doing exactly that. It really does recapture the magic of course, the original stage musical, but also making it far different and actually staying true to the original book at the same time. So yeah, I actually find myself really engaged with the, of course, the story for sure. So yeah, and of course, the writing, of course, this film, I find myself to be really fully engaged with what I've actually seen for sure. Every bits of dialogue and action and even everything else that I could think of. So almost ran out of air for a second. But yeah, everything from the movie's screenplay for sure, I have to say it is really well written out for sure, and I find myself really engaged with, of course, what I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, and I think and I also do like that on top of course, those two, I really do admire the film's pacing for sure. Yeah, every single bit of timing, of course, every single scene for sure. It actually doesn't flow out, of course, everything quickly to make things distracting. No, it actually does take its time with, of course, a good number of parts for sure. Like, of course, you actually establish, of course, the entire world of course, Crunch 'em All that our characters actually reside in, to even, of course, Matilda herself actually pretty much taking her time to, of course, doing on what she thinks is right for sure, and standing up for who is in the wrong for sure. And I actually do like how it's actually done for sure. And yeah, everything else in regards to the movie's pacing, I find myself really fully engaged with, of course, what I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, with those three, I have to say, I was fully hooked on, of course, all that for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on that. Alright, so now that I've got those out of the way, I guess I might as well talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about. And of course, the next thing I should mention is, of course, the characters. And what can I say about the characters? We all know them from the original book. We all know them from, of course, the Mara Wilson movie. We all know them in the musical for sure. And we definitely well know them in this movie for sure. Yeah, Yeah, literally every single one of them I've actually seen on screen. I was fully engaged with, of course, what I've actually seen for sure. Each and every single one of them are, of course, very likable and very interesting for sure. And I also do love on a really great sense of development that each and every single one of them I've actually seen for sure. Like, every single one I've actually seen, I find myself getting hooked with, of course, these characters. Yeah, like, of course, I was really fully engaged with, of course, what goes on with, of course, Matilda and how well she's actually grown throughout the course of the movie. And I really do admire the relationship she had with, of course, Miss Honey. And I even do admire on how well antagonistic that both Matilda's parents and even Miss Trunchbull is for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, the characters, I have to say, they are very likable and interesting. I was fully engaged with, of course, what's going on with them, and I really do love on how well developed they are for sure. So yeah, that's what I can say for, of course, the characters. Now, as for the actors playing all the characters, my God, they really pulled it off very well. Each and every single one of the actors that played all these characters, they actually gave out some really great performances, and I really do love on how well casting this film is. They really got some really great big names out there, to even some unknowns that they actually brought in for sure, to which I find it to be a really great mix for sure. And I actually was fully engaged on, of course, every single one of their performances. Every single one of them actually do stand out a whole lot, and I really do admire, of course, what goes on for sure. So yeah, probably I think the two examples that I can give that I think pulled off some really great performances that I think I should probably mention the title character herself, Matilda, who is, of course, played in this movie by Alicia Weir. And I gotta have to say, for a child at her age, Alicia Weir really is the perfect choice to play Matilda. Yeah, with, of course, what I've actually seen on screen, I think she really does carry out a really great performances for sure. And I actually was fully engaged on a really great balance of emotion that she's actually gone through for sure. She gets upset, she gets sad, she gets angry, she gets giddy. You actually do connect her pretty well, and through her acting style, Alicia Weir really does do a fine job in doing exactly the hang for sure. And I was fully engaged with what I've actually seen on screen. So yeah, Alicia Weir is, of course, really incredible as Matilda in, of course, this movie. And yeah, Alicia Weir, if you are watching this video right about now, mad props to you. Yeah, you've really shined it very well, and I do hope, thanks to this movie, you'll have a really incredible career in film and television, and maybe even theater if possible for sure. So yeah, that's one good example, and of course for the second one, I think I should probably mention the best part in this movie, and that being, of course, the main villain, Miss Trunchbull, who is, of course, played in this movie by Emma Thompson. Now, I mean, it's no big surprise that I've actually seen Emma Thompson do well in some pretty good movies for sure, some of which I may or may not have talked about for sure, but I do know she can pull off a really great performance for sure, and and I guess in the case of this movie we're having about now, my God, that's Emma Thompson at her best. Yeah, I have to say, she really does do an incredible job playing Miss Trunchbull, and I guess through her very cynical and, of course, very aggressive performance she actually gave, I say she really does nail the character flawlessly for sure, and of course, just by seeing her on screen, when you actually see Emma Thompson give out that performance, we actually do start to get frightened by what we've actually seen from her for sure in this movie, and of course, yeah, it actually does make you want to root for our title character a whole lot more for sure. So yeah, I guess it's why King I gather right, but now all the others they brought in for sure. Like I said, they pulled off some really great performances for sure, and I know that's probably saying a whole lot. Like, of course, I really do admire the actress who played Miss Honey. I think she really does do a fine job doing exactly that. And, of course, I do admire the actors who played Matilda's parents for sure. Almost pretty much, not even close, but, yeah, but almost on the same level as, of course, Miss Trunchbull, but in a different way. One of them is, of course, played by Stephen Graham, So yeah, all the actors they brought in to play all these characters, they really pulled off some really great performances in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on that. Alright, so now that I've got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Well, quite a whole lot, actually. For starters, well, seeing how this is based on the musical by the same name, I think I might as well talk about the music and the songs. So yeah, for the music and the songs, what can I say about them? Each and every single one of them has been very memorable from the stage musical, and it's really well done in, of course, this movie. And I'm pretty sure you know the ones I'm talking about, like, of course, pretty much When I Grow Up, Naughty, Revolting Children, Quiet, and that's just to name me a few right about how so yeah, every single one of them I've actually heard throughout the course of this movie, and I actually did listen to parts of the movie's soundtrack right before seeing this, and I really do admire, of course, the music and the songs for sure, just carrying out, of course, the same style as the stage show, but also updating a whole lot and having a more orchestral feel to it to fit in well with, of course, a simple 2-hour flick. So yeah, I have to say it is brilliantly well done for sure, and it's actually done massively well for sure. I actually do find myself getting fully amidst, of course, the songs. Like, I do find myself rocking out and singing to them every single time for sure. So. But yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the music and the song. So yeah, if you haven't actually listened to the soundtrack to, of course, this movie, my God, do so. You will not regret it, hands down. So yeah, and as for everything else, well, pretty much visually, the film actually does look really, really presentable. From, of course, the really nice set designs to, of course, some pretty fine but still well done visual effects for sure. And probably, I think, a little bit of okay CGI for sure. And what I mean by okay is that it does lead to one nitpick I do have with, of course, this film. Pretty much the CGI effects range from okay to practically not rendered out very well for sure. I mean, I do understand, of course, why it had to be that way. I mean, some parts of the CG effects, like, of course, the usage of course, Matilda's telekinetic powers is actually well done. But everything else, though, yeah, maybe I think the CG could have been rendered out a whole lot more just to help save time and money for sure. But again, that's just my main nitpick for sure. But hey, everything else from the visuals and the effects, I still think they are done very well. And not to mention, I really do love the really great balance of course, some really nice colors that they actually throwing in for sure. Just this whole mixture that they brought in for sure is actually very well done. I really do admire, of course, on how it'll make the movie look more and more appealing for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much why I can say on the hag. And of course, the direction in this film, and again, this is pretty much the director of this movie also directed the musical when he first opened up, and I have have to say, it is brilliantly well done. You actually do get a good feel, of course, on how well directed this film is, and of course, what direction the actors had to give for sure, and it actually is, it actually does work out massively well, and I actually was fully engaged on, of course, what goes on entirely, so... So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on that, so yeah, and of course, when I actually did say the, on how much I really enjoyed the film's pacing, that does utilize to, of course, the other few things that I should mention for sure, like, of course, pretty much, if anything, the choreography in this film is, of course, brilliantly well done for sure, and I did find myself getting fully amidst, of course, what goes on, and of course, the cinematography is shot well. I really do admire some really great camera shots, and I even enjoyed how well cut up the film's editing is for sure. I say all those things because going back a bit to, of course, the music and the songs, all three of those components that I've actually mentioned actually does help out with the music and the songs massively well for sure. As of course, it actually does fitting well with, of course, the beat and the tempo of course, each of the songs for sure. And I do think that is the case with, of course, this film alongside plenty of other movies based on Broadway shows for sure. So yeah, and of course, if anything, that's actually the one component I actually do like. All three of those that I actually mentioned, plus the film's pacing, actually does blend in very well, and I really do admire, of course, all that for sure. Like, of course, pretty much getting to see the actors singing and dancing throughout the course of the songs for sure. You actually feel like the people making this film through some really nice cinematography and some really perfect editing actually is fully immense on, of course, the music and the songs entirely, which is actually very well done. And I do admire on how well it's actually turned out. So yeah, that's actually what I can say for all those components. But most importantly, my God, I gotta have to say, it does do a fine job, and of course, pretty much not only adapting the stage musical very, very well, but also still carry out my my argument that I have in being a much more faithful adaptation of the Roald Dahl book for sure. So yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I can say on that front. That actually does show on how much this movie really, really does work for sure, which does make it a really fun and yet really incredible movie for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say. All right, had to do that, So yeah, I guess overall, Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical, the movie, or whatever you want to call it, but nevertheless, Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical, yeah, not only works well as, of course, a really great movie based on, of course, the stage musical, but also does do an incredible job in also adapting the book by the same name with some massive changes and, of course, some really incredible styles and, of course, some different techniques they've actually done. You actually do get yourself a really fun and yet really enjoyable movie for sure. I mean, I know a lot of people will say that the Mara Wilson movie is a much better film when you want to compare these two movies for sure, and to me, I think that's okay for sure. So yeah, you can definitely look at the Mara Wilson film as a movie on its own, and it would still be better. But to me, I think the recent movie based on the stage musical does do a much better job, and of course, adapting the book from the same name. And again, if Roald Dahl is still alive today, I bet he would probably say the same thing for sure. So yeah, I I guess if anything, it really does work well as a really enjoyable movie. It's got a really great story, really interesting characters, wonderful performances from all the actors, amazing music and songs, and yeah, everything else does make it a really fun and yet enjoyable movie for sure. So yeah, and even if you took Roald Dahl's name and of course part of the musical's name as it is and just call it Matilda as it is, I would still like this movie for, of course, being an enjoyable and likable film as it is. So yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I can say on that front. So yeah, if you actually want to experience this movie for yourself, then by all means, go ahead and do so. It's currently available for streaming right now on Netflix as we speak. So if you got the time and if you want something to watch as a little after Christmas treat, then I say give this movie a watch. Or of course, if you live out in the UK for sure, then that's no problem as well. It's currently playing on the big screen as we speak. Pretty much all thanks to Sony under their TriStar Pictures name for sure. So yeah, seems like our good buddies across the pond get to actually see on the big screen while we actually get to experience it back in the States via Netflix for sure. Who knew that the people making this film were actually pretty much agree with my argument I made in my Disney Plus Pixar trilogy editorial video that I did 6 months ago. So that's quite nice. So yeah, whatever the case, and wherever you are right now, either in the UK where it's playing on the big screen, or of course back here in the States and everywhere else throughout the globe available for streaming on Netflix, definitely watch this movie for yourself. Yeah, I think if anything, pretty much this movie did a fine job in being a little bit naughty, but actually gave us something rather nice. So yeah. And I know that's saying a whole lot because, well, as Matilda said it herself, sometimes you have to be a little bit naughty. So yeah, that's my overall verdict for, of course, this film. And because of all that, I am very proud to say that for my final score, I'm giving Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical a massively solid 9 out of 10. So yeah, really incredible movie on its own, and really does do a fine job in in doing justice to, of course, the original musical at the same name. So yeah, like I said, definitely go see this movie for yourself. And like I said, if you want a bit of musical theater credit for yourself, then like I said, go see the stage musical for yourself. Like I said, currently as of right now, the West End production is still going on as we speak, and hopefully if you can find a production from where you are right now, I say give this musical a look at for sure. So yeah, it's actually well worth checking out, and I couldn't help but recommend it all the way. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on that. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and let me know in the comment section below if you have seen Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical, the movie, and what you thought about it, as well as, of course, leaving me constructive criticism and or advice on how I can improve my videos in the near future. And of course, as always, feel free to send me an email if you want to ask me any questions, or if you just want to book me for a con or event that'll be coming up sometime in the near future. Follow me on my social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and plenty of other social media sites that I have provided if you want to keep up to date with me, with, of course, the links down in the description box below. And of course, feel free to support me on Patreon if you want to see sneak peeks to videos that I got coming up in the near future, as well as some other awesome rewards that will help fit into your budget. And if you enjoyed today's video, then give it a massive thumbs up, as it really does help this channel out. And speaking of my channel, feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell and select all notifications if you want to see more videos like this coming up in the near future. So So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and don't worry, I still got a few more before this year wraps up for sure, before 2023 will give us something much more interesting, but whatever the case, I'll be sure to let you guys know on that. So yeah, I guess until then, and right up until my next video, thank you guys so much for watching, and, well, I'll definitely see you in the next one. Take care.